Hello, and welcome. Oh. What happened to the music? It tried for a second there.
No music.
Killed it.
It was like very triumphant and then just stopped. Hello, welcome to Jarviskjir Rock of the North, where we're very triumphant and then just stop. That's how we deal with chronic illnesses in this house.
It's Sabriel's life.
This is session 13. Oh, no.
This is session 13, which explains why I was like, I'm too sleepy. Which is why we're late.
This is gonna go totally great.
I don't know what you guys could fuck up today. I don't know what you could fuck up.
There are many things.
You're just in an ancient elven city of etiquette. Island. Peep could fall off the island.
Oh no! Splat.
I'm a dragon! Woo!
He just fucking jumped.
They lose a lot of baby sun elves that way.
Yeah,
you have to learn to fly someday.
They have like a nursery, but it's like got like a very strict fence because otherwise
there's no fence. Babies fall through the fence.
Edge of the city. It's natural selection.
Well, it's funny because that actually does happen in Narashiro, the Dark Elf city. There's a reason why they're all so spry. They're the ones that survive.
Oh no!
Oh, no. Hardcore parkour, the planet, the world of hardcore parkour. Anyway, we're not there. Well, we're kind of there. The parkour in Hythundrol is very hardcore. In like how Minecraft hardcore mode, you only have one chance, I guess. Last session, you guys finally reached the ancient city of Hythundrol after completing your side quest. And after Peep discovered that their hot rock is the link to a great and terrible evil power. They're very excited.
Can't wait for Vincent to find out.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Vincent will go from all Peep's baby to fucking kill the lizards.
It'll be okay.
You did manage to rush to Hythundrol, where you are now suddenly aware of the world in which Sabriel comes from and how different it is from the rest of the world. You know, the Sun Elven society is very old and very ancient and hence not only very faded, but also very decadent and brilliant. You know, this is a city of grand cathedrals with structures that could not be built in today's day and age, all flying high above the elven city below. You met Sabriel's... the leader of the Sun Elves. I don't even know what the connection is between Balord, Rulius, and Sabriel at this point. It's kind of hard to explain. But you did meet Balord. Not what you expected. And you also met Sabriel's wife, who is pregnant with the baby. That Sabriel knew. And that's pretty much where we ended off last session, actually. With you kind of returning to Sabriel's home, kind of looking around, seeing all the stuff in the study, downstairs, etc. Knowing that you need to wait a few days for Sabriel's husband to return home. It's kind of, you know, fun in the big, terrifying, lonely city session, you know?
It's depressed Minecraft music playing in the background.
This is depressed Minecraft music.
Is that what it is?
It's not what it is, but it is.
Turn it up so I can hear it a little better. Depressed Minecraft music. Yeah.
It is depressed Minecraft. This is the music of the elven halls, people. You know, y'all were all in Sabriel's home. You know, you met Sabriel's wife Alina. The day is still relatively young, and you know you have to wait a while. Sabriel did say that y'all could stay in this home, although it doesn't really have places and fixings for people who sleep. So that would be something you have to arrange and sort out. But there's, you know, there's all sorts of other things you all could do if you want. It's sort of what are you interested in, what you're interested in pursuing while you wait.
I think we were going to arrange dinner with Ballard before he steals the orb back from Sabriel somehow.
You can do dinner with Ballard.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have dinner, but I guess that would be, we have a few hours till then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and dinner requires preparation.
Yeah.
How many? Is there like shops and stuff? Because this is more like a kind of fortress kind of floor.
This is a flying fortress. So, you know, imagine Warhammer 40k. Okay. It's a fortress cathedral, you know, it doesn't have commercial areas. It does have places where things are made, but you wouldn't even know where to find them or be allowed in them. So you are essentially pets of Sabriel right now. To go too far away, even to poop, would be forbidden.
Okay, so we can't go down to like the lower city part.
Oh, you can. Well, you'd need a ride, but you could go down into Thundral. That'd be fine.
And we might just not be let up without Sabriel vouching for us.
Yeah.
I think Snow is gonna, if it feels very out of place, so he's just gonna basically follow Peep's lead.
Oh, Sabriel's gonna find a message to send to the one lady supposed Snow could meet her.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Where's her heart?
We only just started.
The coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Forgot about that lady.
You could if you wanted.
Sabriel's
We could do that in the next couple of days.
Well, he's gonna send a message and tell her to come find him at some point in the next few days.
A summons.
Yeah, he's not gonna say why though. He's just gonna send a summons like.
Oh no!
Here now.
They're gonna think they're about to get like executed or something. This is like when your boss sends you just a we need to meet message. Yeah.
My office 3 o'clock. That's all it says.
Yeah. You can send a summons. That's fine. That will be something that kind of we sort out in the next couple of days.
Yeah. No,
Basically,
if Peep is gonna go somewhere, I'll be with Peep.
Yeah. Okay, I was basically thinking of Peep getting a little bit of following Smart Metal's advice and getting like a bit of jewelry to hold the scaly rock. Now.
That's definitely hypothetically an option, but you are a vermin creature.
Yeah, so I need Sabriel's help, and Sabriel's busy.
Sabriel's not doing anything.
Okay.
Sabriel's just at his house.
Yeah.
Sabriel's just like at home now.
Getting dinner ready.
Chill.
Sabriel's like, yo, we're having dinner tonight. I gotta get food. Oh, we gotta go buy food. Okay.
Group shopping
like
party. Let's go.
He's got his like a thingy, like Elven football on like the Elven TV, and he's just got like an Elven beer in his hand, just like sat with his feet up.
Actually, he's probably changed clothes into something not pajamas, and well,
Different kind of
more
pajamas.
They're kind of pajamas. He's changed clothes into like some robes.
Comfy indoor clothes.
Yeah, and cooking, I guess.
It's Sabriel.
Mm-hmm.
There's not any shops around here, is there?
Not in the traditional sense, no. There's, you know, the marketplace, but it's not. We don't exchange coin here.
Oh. It's just I was kind of hoping to get you know like the thing that Smart Metal had, like the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it looked really cool, so I kind of thought, I could get on here, and elven stuff's really pretty, and but I don't think I can really go around on my own. So would you be able to come with me?
He's so cute, I can't help it. He looks at the kitchen for a minute where he started gathering things. He's like, I need to go gather food supplies anyway. I suppose I can aid you in collecting trinkets.
All right, shopping tip.
They're probably going to think you're some sort of talking dog, so we should probably...
I've heard that a lot over the last couple of days.
Yes, you'll probably hear it more.
Yeah.
Don't be too bothered by it.
It's fine.
We don't really interact with motions to peep. Like, obviously we're up here. We don't interact with little, like, lizard people that
Little
wander
dirt
around.
gremlins. Yeah, it's okay. It's Snow, do you want to come along?
Sure, I have nothing else to do.
One moment. He points at Grim and
Oh, yeah.
Goldie.
I forgot about them. Oh,
They are here.
Yo, let them
Not.
cook it. We'll see how it
No.
goes. We'll see
No.
how it turns out. Come on, it's such a good idea.
We're gonna come back from shopping and we're just gonna find them both T-posing in the car.
That's what happens when I forget they're there. They're like slightly off frame, just like T-posed.
Sabriel looks at both of them. Don't move. And he goes upstairs and gets Alina.
You have a beautiful
No, we
home!
have pets. Don't touch anything. And he goes to get Alina.
Yeah. Alina is in the same place you left her an hour ago because she's an elf.
Yeah, he's not surprised.
No.
Because he sits for like 12 hours and doesn't realize it's been 12 hours. He's just,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
Compared to you, she's quite spry. She's not a celestial. Well,
She's
she
a
was
youngin'.
before she pregnant.
She's a youngin'. Alina, don't be surprised if you go downstairs and there are two entities down there.
What do you mean by entities? What this is a very particular word to use to describe something.
Well, I am an entity, and Cowervale is an entity, and Ballord is an entity. It's just another word for person.
You don't
And-
use that word.
No.
You haven't used it
no,
before. Why are you using it now? Are you trying to hide something from me? Is this a game?
No. If it's a game, it's a very bad one, and it's not one that I would normally play. But Cal
Amateur.
requested to investigate one of them, and the other one I just found, and I would have fixed him. But
Is this like the dark elf they brought up from the dark city?
no, one of the you know what? I'm just going to. One of them is a skeleton, and the other one is a machine man, and he's broken, and I'm going to fix him.
Are they inert?
No, they move and they talk, and that's why I was telling you, so that you don't go downstairs and see a skeleton in my clothes and worry that I'm dead or something. And like,
By the light of a Vandor, skeletons that are ambulatory are evil creatures that are meant to be burned in holy prejudice.
both myself and Cal believe something else is going on with. He doesn't know that he's dead.
She leans back slightly in her chair and is like, this is why the priests down in the city kind of raise their ears and scoff when Sun Elves come down because you bend the rules.
I'm not bending any rules. No, we're going to. I think he's cursed. I think he actually is not dead, if that makes sense. I don't feel right putting down a sentient skeleton who may not actually be a skeleton.
The riddles you were talking in are very confusing, Zabriel.
Also, he came out of the place where I was sent to investigate, so he's evidence. My birds are fighting.
Okay. You are the master of the house. If you want to bring a skeleton and a kobold in, then these are all fine, I suppose.
It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. The skeleton.
If any of them bring in unexpected pathogens that affect your pregnant wife, that may be the last hope for your species, then that would be
oh my
that'd
God,
be very bad. It'll be fine, I suppose.
He's gonna turn around and like look at Grim. Grim, are you carrying any diseases?
I haven't finished that spell yet.
Oh my God! All right, no. He's gonna just like no. He's going to take Grim. Peep, we need to make a stop on the way out.
Okay.
You taking Grim with you now?
To my office. No, he's taking him to his office and locking him in there for now.
You mean his office like outside of this tower that he never uses?
Yeah, that office.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, no. Is there a room or something up at that place where he can just put Grim and Goldie and be like, where they can't break or touch anything?
Yes, but that's also Balord's. Also Balord's area of the High Palace. So while you might not have to deal with them, Balord might find them, which is a whole new realm of danger.
This is turning into a sitcom.
It is. It's like one of those. Like every sitcom has the one where they like have a double date with two people at once, or something. Except it's not a date. It's just like trying to keep
trying to figure out what to do with our cursed companions. Oh.
I accidentally bought a giraffe, and I need to hide it from my wife until I figure out what to do with it.
And you know what? He's gonna. Oh, fucking A. Goldie's gotta come with us because we gotta find somebody to get fixed.
Well, yeah, you probably won't find anyone to fix him here in High Thundral. If you want to go down, that might be different. But I imagined you were going around High Thundral to get some.
Yeah, we'll just do that. You know what? They can
do that first, at least. You can take him. Goldie is a much more obedient companion than Grimwald is.
Yeah, that's Grim. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Grim.
Hmm?
Why don't you come out here and just sit on the balcony, not this one. He points up to where Alina is sitting. Just stay.
Stay? You're talking to me like I'm some kind of hound? You'll find that I don't follow quite simple commands.
Okay, well, I'm trying to save you from possibly being turned into bone dust. So you might wish to, yes, just stay here by my house. Don't leave the exterior perimeter of my house, but don't go inside and the missus is not fond of you, so...
They have never met me. I should introduce myself.
No! He just grabs him.
It makes a xylophone noise. that you could put. So you could either put him in the back, or you could put him in front of the house on like a bench, like in the front garden. Sit. Because remember, this house is a tower that's kind of moored to the side of the building. It doesn't have a earth under it.
Just sit on the bench and
sit on the bench.
Don't leave.
Okay. Grim will sit on the bench and not leave. Maybe. The rest of you can go to the Hythundrel market.
While we're there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I might want to describe it, because this isn't a market, really. Yeah. This isn't a culture that uses money. This is a culture of ancient guardians that once used these markets basically just to make sure everyone had what they needed to have, right? So it's not got shops. It has stalls that craftspeople put things in, and also things that are essentially gifted to Hythundrel by the people down below. Lots of that kind of thing. Which is a lot more prevalent now, considering that population down there is much, 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 much higher. And these people are still kind of guardian angels, especially guarding over the king is their main goal. Although with the war, maybe there's a little bit more coming up in the way of weapons and things. So this market itself is... it's not really in the grand palaces or whatnot. It's kind of at the corner of a couple of them. This big, semi-covered garden area where things are stored within the kind of almost dungeon layer of these palaces and brought out when needed. You don't have people yelling about buying goods or anything like that. You just have... it would mostly be high elves who are doing this, not sun elves, because sun elves are, you know, no longer have the time with so few of them. The few sun elves that you do see here are clearly masters of a craft. So much so that their craft is seen super important, even though they're a warrior race, right? And one of them would be the jewelers. Sun elven jewelers... I mean, every single bit of Sun Elf equipment you've seen is made of gold. So working the gold, especially with enchantments to make it actually a palpable, powerful material, turning gold into Arcor, the actual magical material that all the armor and swords and things are made from, is technically kind of the property of jewelers and the forge people. Sabriel would know that there is, you know, multitude of forges down in the rock of the island. Not all of them work anymore, obviously, but there's always, you know, a master of the forge and then some trainees and things. In fact, the current master of the forge is your late wife's cousin. Like they're tangentially related. Because everyone's related. So...
It's like Iceland.
Yeah, this is Iceland. I don't know what to tell you. Completely exactly the same. So instead of a market, it's more of like a community... like, share. Right? Things are shared between people. Food that is made in the gardens of Hythundrel. Wine that is made in the gardens of Hythundrel are here. You know, Sabra might even explain when the city was booming. Admittedly, even when you were born and young, it wasn't Hythundrel at its height, but it was still much busier than it is now. You know, a lot of people would be doing their barter individually. It's like, oh, okay, well, I know that so-and-so has X what I need. You go, or you send a child to do it, you know? But now things are stored here. It's mostly stuff from the city down below, but there are a few things. There are some of the Sun Elven jewelers and like the apprentices of the Masters of the Forge, who honestly at this point the apprentices are like 200-year-old elves. They're not that young because there are no children in Hythundrel anymore. So it's not really a market So keep that in mind before you go wanting to buy things. And it's not even barter either. It's, you have what I need. We are all soldiers of the sun. We trade. Your presence is, of course, noted. Sabriel is an important person. And you two are weirdos. And Goldie is a weirdo, too. Goldie is the least weird, I think, of you two. Which, you three.
He's gold.
He's gold. Something you do notice is yeah, sun elves don't know what kobolds are. They will just kind of ask quietly, like, what is that thing? They don't know. There are no kobolds in this city. But they know what. There are, you know, some sharp looks at Snow occasionally for being of giant blood. But not that much. People are usually too busy doing things, and the high elves here are just really happy to serve. So.
So where can I get some jewelry? I mean, people don't use money here, right? So how do I just ask?
Well, I can do the asking. They'll probably be a lot more pliable to me.
Yeah, probably.
That would be like, is there anywhere that I could earn some money? I'm broke.
Not up here.
We drank all that meat on the way down here.
We can go down to the city below and see if perhaps someone has some work for you, but I don't think there's any work here for you unless...
Or like a wrestling ring?
Well, it's funny you say that, because here in the busiest part of High Thundrol, you can hear... Actually, something I don't think you would be very aware of, Snow, based on the culture you've come from, but Sun Elven Crusaders doing training drills. So there would be repeated yells, there would be like the clashing of swords and shields, armor moving, kind of around the other side of the market. There's a plaza where there are probably a dozen Sun Elf Crusaders just doing practice. And it's equal part ritual as well as practicing and training the muscles. Of course, these are all adult Crusaders at this point. You know, back in the day, it would be you'd be having all the kids doing their training drills as well. They got to become soldiers, but not right now.
But he'll be like, let's take care of the jewelry part first, and then I can take you over there, because I don't know that you're going to be well received if you just walk up into the middle of their training without forewarning them.
No, it's not. He would be a little intimidated, honestly. So, yeah.
Sabriel's got his sword on him too, by the way.
Pajamas and a sword.
Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like pajamas to anyone else, but
I'm not questioning. I understand. I just want to make clear that, you know, you're not in armor really right now, but you're still in Sun Elven
like a boots
etiquette
and,
garb.
boots and
Yeah.
stuff on, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to kind of... You actually, you know, have made... Throughout your life, you've had a lot of interactions with the jewelers of High Thundrol, one way or another, Sabriel.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a lot of jewelry made, and also...
He's wearing his body jewelry right now, too, BT Dub, so he's got, like, body chains on.
Yeah, exactly. Sabriel has a lot of jewelry. There's a lot more, like, in his house. There's a lot more on his husband. There's also magic that has been taught to Cal by them. So, you would be able to go in, talk a little in Celestial. There would be a relatively older, but younger than you. You are... Ballard is the oldest Sun Elf. at over 1,000 years old. You and Cal are not far behind. Well, you are far behind, but also people aren't alive at that age. You know, most elves don't reach that old. So she's older, but and a sun elf, but not as old as you. But especially, you got to remember, every sun elf kind of looks like they're really, really stressed, I guess is the way to put it. You know, when someone's really stressed, they look older? Every sun elf looks like that. Without exception. Sabriel honestly looks good compared to a lot of all the other sun elves you see around. Every single one of them, despite being elves and still being beautiful, although with sun elves it's a much more they're more handsome, I guess. It's much more stark and lined and generally more masculine. They all also have like very sharp lines around their eyes, and the eyes tend to be a little bit faded as well and tired, and their hair tends to have lost its luster. You know, this woman has hair in like all these gold bands and bangles, but it is also kind of frayed and in every direction as well. She is one of the jewelers who is keeping the traditions, you know, alive, and also writing a lot of the magic down so that it can be used in the future, but it's all written in, like, Sun Elven Celestial too, so it's not like it could be written and used by anyone. But most everyone. Her name is Lilianne, and she... I imagine you just want to go up to her and be like, I need something made.
Yeah, pretty much. He's not about the pleasantries 90% of the time. That's his husband, not him.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be like, so I need something made for this small rock. To hold it.
Do you, have you given Sabriel the rock peep, or are you just coming in and offering it?
I'll very carefully pull it out of my pocket and then hold it up.
Sabriel, give me a perception check.
I don't like that. I don't like that. It's such a
you gotta roll sometimes in this game we play D&D. Sometimes you gotta roll dice. Just saying. Sometimes it happens.
Granted, he's got, like, the perception of fucking God, but, like...
What? This is when you fail after saying that.
13?
I know.
13 is okay. Yeah, I mean, Peep Peep really likes that rock. And is very, very kind of secretive of it. Lilianne, the goldsmith, will kind of lean down a little and nod and understand and would say, and this, none of this would be in common. She doesn't speak common. A lot of sun elves don't. It would be sort of like, it's quite a...
I mean, even Sabriel's is broken, so...
Yeah. It's quite a large rock to forge into a necklace. It would be quite heavy.
Huh? Just look at Sabriel.
And especially because, remember, Celestial in Jarviskjir is operatic. It is like you have just been sung to by this old lady. But it's like opera in a language you don't understand.
He's gonna ask if there's another option that won't be quite as heavy before he translates any of this to Peep. That way Peep has options.
Is it going to be this dragon dog that is going to be wearing this jewelry?
Yes.
Its neck is very thin. This rock would be quite weighted unless I enchant it to make it lighter, which is possible. It is always possible. But this creature is 50% tail. I could make a tail ring.
He will relay the options.
Oh, that sounds really cool, actually. Oh, I actually really like that idea. Yeah, let's go with the tail ring.
Okay, but also...
She like the sun elves in the room recoil from the excitement of the creature. As old people do.
Sabriel will just do like the calm down movement, but then he also has a thought. Peep, on that note, does your tail, when it gets severed, does it grow back?
I don't know. I don't want to find out, to be entirely honest.
Just morbid curiosity. He'll tell her that he wants the tail ring.
Snow is like, we can find out, and he reaches for sword, but he's just joking. Obviously, he would just he would chuckle. He'd be like, I'm just messing.
Would I be able to take the stone? I could forge this in some days.
Looks at Peep and translates.
If they need it, then sure. Yeah, it should be okay.
She will just it out of your hand and place it very delicately. I mean, she is an elf, on one of these, because she's not like at a full work table right now, but like place it on a little kind of laced fabric and wrap it up, and then very quickly start sort of sketching with calligraphy tools whatever they're going to be making. But in a very elven way, you could tell that the conversation is over. They're just still there, but the conversation is over. So
Sarah just turns and starts walking away. Like,
yeah.
He takes the dismissal.
Please don't be mad, Micro. We're back soon, I promise.
Is that out loud?
Probably like quiet, but yeah, out loud.
Can I make a perception check?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You hear Peep sniveling.
Just looks down at Peep like as much of an expression of suspicion as Sabriel can put on his face, because he's not very expressive. What was that about, Peep?
I just really don't like this parting with that rock. It's my lucky rock, you know?
He doesn't push it right now, but he's got questions later. He's like, it's taking him a minute to formulate the questions. He will get back to you later at a random time.
We've been trying to reach you about your rock's extended warranty.
You get a really extended warranty in the Sun Elven City.
He'll sit there and we'll be like midway through something later, and he'll answer his phone, and it's like the cruise ship horn that you get when you answer the phone sometimes, and it's just the oh yes, Peep.
Now the useful thing about do you have more memes about Car's extended warranty to tell before I move on?
No, he was gonna move on to the training room.
Oh, I was gonna say you might want to get like all your food first, but if you want to do training first, that's...
No, he'll go collect whatever he thinks we need for food.
I was gonna say the useful thing about this is you have Snow who can carry things, which is really useful.
Oh, we should have brought the cart, man.
And well, you know, I don't know if Goldie would carry something if you asked. Goldie is only here to arrest Vincent. And make sure Vincent pays his debt.
Like, you know what, Vincent's back at the house.
Yeah.
With Alina.
Vincent is tired. He's an old man. He's taking a nap, you know.
He's making sure Grim doesn't go inside.
Yeah, Vincent's just trying to keep Grim from going inside, standing in the doorway, be like, yeah, the whole thing. The food around here is either grown in the actual gardens of Hythundra, especially the wines, but a lot of it is also straight up. My brain wants to say sacrifices, but makes it sound like they're eating people. Offerings is the word I wanted. That is more appropriate. But offerings from all the ways around. But it is mostly elven goods. There's quite a lot of there's some wood elven soy cakes and things, but there's also, you know, all the base materials that you can make stuff out of. They're not really lacking for food up here because of the offerings. Do you want to throw Snow into the training arena now?
Who's there?
It would mostly be... So, a lot of the more experienced Crusaders, because even though you haven't been in a war since your young adulthood, for like 700 years or so. There have always been spats and bouts that Sun Elves have been invited to. Sun Elves as a culture are fading because they are lacking purpose, and their purpose used to be, you know, ridding the world of giants, then it was orcs, then it was etc, etc. They're meant for grand wars. All these little bouts don't usually really count, you know. They give like a bit of excitement. So, but a lot of the ones who have had experience in whatever they've had to deal with are down in the hole. They are in the Underrealm now, with Calravale. Although according to Calravale, there is, you know, they're doing a bit of a retreat because he has to come back and see you. That's so the people training are the less experienced, younger but still adult Crusaders. Each progressive generation has faded a little bit more, so they are, you know, they need the extra training because they have a harder time remembering elements. And so the ritualistic aspect is quite important. No, the Knight of the Swords is not there. But it would be his duty to oversee this if it was a larger event. This is just a, you know, a squad doing their training together, essentially.
Savriel was kind of hoping Sword Bro would be there so Snow could beat his ass in the armor.
You could probably summon the Knight of the Sword if you cause enough trouble. Yeah.
He doesn't like him, so he's tempted. But okay, Savriel will I guess walk up with the rest of them and have Snow come along.
There would be whoever is moderately more senior in this squad would, you know, say a ceremonial welcome to you as you are one of the important Sun Elven Council members and in charge of all the soldiers, technically, kind of. So there would be a kind of ritualistic greeting, but then they continue doing what they're doing. And it is literally like sword training drills, all of them in like a line, doing the same motions in their full armor. Say that again, my internet ate that entire sentence.
I said, is there one in particular that looks a little bit more bored than the rest of them?
I would say probably not, because there is actually something for them to train for. So they're a little bit more excited.
Sabriel's gonna, and I'm saying he probably has done this not frequently, but often enough to where people know that when Sabriel shows up to the trainings, just randomly someone's getting smacked with the backside of a sword.
By peep, do you mean... did you mean to say peep there?
Did I say peep?
Yeah.
I said people.
Oh! Okay. Yes, I mean, this is literally part of your job, it's more the Knight of the Sword's job to make sure that these people are trained, but, you know, he hasn't been around.
No. He doesn't do his job, but that's not the current point at the moment. No, so Sabriel will look at Snow and just tell him to hold on a second, and he'll just, like, walk around with his, you know, hands behind his back, just like relaxed, just examining them all for a moment, like you do sometimes. And I guess.
Can you give me an intimidation roll, please?
Yeah. Do I get advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. These people are already terrified of you, and especially because you're here in your, you know,
pajamas,
like body jewelry and least see-through robe, which is still at least 20% see-through. Yeah, they're some of them are, you know, there is a wise adage that elves never sweat. It's untrue. Some of these elves definitely start to sweat in their full armor under the afternoon sun being watched by you as they're training, especially because some of them know that they're not. I mean, they the thing with Sun Elves is they're very honest. If you're not the best, they know they're not the best, and they have to keep working hard. So they are quite tense as they are training.
Cyril's just gonna pick one at random that looks like they're sweating more than the other ones, and just random sword attack, just to see if they can block it.
Okay.
Pretty intense.
I will roll for them.
Sabril is back home. Sabril is swinging his dick.
They roll a 1. You straight up like cut them bad.
Oh, no.
They're like and fall to a knee.
Die.
And immediately do start like being Crusaders. Every single Crusaders can they immediately start like channeling holy magic into their own neck. But it doesn't they can't do it quick enough to stop the trail of blood go down the edge of their golden armor and onto the floor, and that's stop. Everyone else stops.
Sabril,
what the hell?
completely ignoring Beep right now. He's
Snow
like,
is just
God
watching
damn it.
interested.
Sabriel's just mentally like, God damn it. Like, he didn't
Failed.
fuck up. He looks down at them, I guess, with the sword still like pointed down at them. Flicks his hand to heal the wound. Tells them to get back up.
Yeah, they will sheepishly.
What was that?
My reaction speed was clearly not fast enough, Lord Commander. I gravely apologize to you and the sun.
You're lucky it was me. And not the other one. He's like, because the other one probably would have punished him so much more than that.
Yeah, he knows.
But I think you get to be the one that gets to meet our new friend. Emotions to Snow.
There is a murmuring around the Sun Elves of the. You start to recognize what the celestial word for giant is, because they're definitely muttering it.
Snow in his head is thinking like, I don't want this one, and he failed the test.
Yeah, but
he
no,
doesn't say
here's
that.
the thing. Here's the thing. He failed the test, so now he feels like he's gonna have to impress Sabriel by beating you.
No, is he gonna do like reckless attacks and all this shit?
Would you care to do a sparring match with him, Snow?
I would greatly enjoy that. Yes.
Motions for them to go. He's not gonna say anything else. He's just gonna back up across the
Snow Snow walks over the guy and reaches out his arm to handshake him.
They're going to immediately attack.
Oh god!
And they're going to hit. And they are going to immediately pump the highest smite they can into that hit.
No! Snow dies today.
It's one of those things where you go for that honor, and then it's just like you almost see the scared face just turn into a mask of subtle anger,
Yeah.
right? Which isn't that subtle because they're elves who are both subtle and unsubtle, because they're bitchy. But and you kind of do see that occasionally for Sabriel too. But he will do that would be 5 slashing damage plus. Let's add some smite. You are a giant, which means his smite will do more damage.
Oh no.
Sabriel's like, I said sparring, not murder.
It's a spar against a giant.
This is like fighting with Balord. He goes for the kill immediately.
It's gonna be 39 radiant damage on that smite.
Ouch.
Jesus Christ.
Are you still up?
Still up. It's still
Yeah,
up, yeah.
it's definitely one of those things where he goes for the hit, and it's not even like a slash, but there is the full weight of when Balord started casting that spell before you felt the burning of sunlight, like extreme sunburn, basically. You feel that from the blade, and then it's searing into your side. It doesn't actually leave a burn, because it's all just this very old magic that's very powerful. But you feel it like it's going in to destroy you. And they then they back up and they raise the shield and they hunker down, and this armor is almost un-elven in the way it kind of clinks and clanks, and in the right position, they're like a beetle almost. There's no element that could be attacked, other than the head, which is unhelmeted right now. It's your turn.
Christ, I did not see. That was not the intention.
I mean, I'm gonna rage. And,
They got to impress you.
Snow is actually a little angry, like actually angry. But it's more just like the adrenaline and kind of the annoyance of being attacked when he wanted to have like an honorable duel. And he goes like, we're gonna reckless attack.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be just more of a like,
You can't get good recruits nowadays.
No. So
Alright,
I was
here
like,
we
God
go.
damn, I didn't tell you to kill him.
There's a crit.
Oh, crit does hit. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the rage isn't
Get his
doubled. And it
ass.
was a shit roll on the second. It was actually, bro. I rolled 2 1s and a 2. And then
That is a massive strike. That like you basically cleave through their defense with that, right? That's like one of the ones where you like throw the shield arm away and they're open.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hit them again. You have another
and then
attack.
I have the second one. Come on, another crit. Come on. Oh!
Yeah, you. It's like one of those things. It's like a wham, wham, and the second one, like the Sun Elf Crusader is on the ground.
Yeah. Obviously, he's not going for kills.
Yeah,
He's
it's
gonna
like
he's gonna try and knock him down. Yeah.
yeah, they're knocked down and like crunch down onto the ground, and they will kind of put their hand up. You getting them down to the ground. You even actually managed to cleave a really big dent in their shield, which is this big ornate thing. It almost looks like the feathers of like a bird, like all brought together in front of it, and it's now got this big like cleave in this thing.
Nice. Yeah, and Snow just kind of like puts the sword up, and he goes like.
Several just gives him a slightly, pat, good job. Good job, son.
What is the reaction from the other Sun Elves? Because like so, to see if are they angry, impressed?
They are wide-eyed and shocked. Yeah, wide-eyed shock, I would say, is the reaction of the other recruits.
Several will help the recruit up off the ground. And he'll heal both him and Snow.
Peep, can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh, no.
Yes.
I don't like that.
I'm keeping you all on your toes today. Peep, you hear the whistling of something flying towards your head, and you manage to duck down and avoid it. And it actually will bounce against probably the back of Snow's leg. It's a little wood dart with a foam tip. Like from a toy.
Pick it up, look at it, and turn around and look at the direction it came from.
You see a purple-skinned elf girl rushing behind some of the pillars. You just see like the trail of this sun elven like robes, because they're all traily. They all are. And like, but clearly not a sun elf.
Peep's girlfriend.
People twirl it in his fingers, and then sort of taking probably just a guess, throw it just about where I think she's gonna move to next. I don't think she's gonna stay behind thing. So like if she ran like say from like this pillar to this one, just like a little bit ahead and just
give me a dexterity based attack roll.
Just this is an easy way of doing this. My short sword, probably.
Yep. Yeah, there is a you can't like you even have to curve it. You know, you have to curve it so you don't hear. You just hear the like ah.
Got you.
From that corner, this girl will appear again. In human years, she'd be around like 14. So in elf years, she would be wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But she is clearly, I mean, you wouldn't know this, but she is a dark elf. She is a usurper elf. She has this deep purple, sort of almost satin skin that kind of shimmers in the light, and white silver hair that's in a kind of bun. It's like a ponytail bun kind of thing. And she has these sun elven robes for, you know, people this sort of age, but does have a hand crossbow. And she'll pick up the dart and she'll put it back in, and she'll kind of glare at you a little bit.
He just waves.
She'll like aim at you again, and then
you were a pretty good shot.
Shut up. Her name.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, her name is Hope. The sister is called Hope. Her sister is called Tanuma.
He'll relay that to Pew.
Oh. Wait. Kind of looks at Sabriel, looks at the other elves that are training, and like, her skin was different to yours.
That's because she's not a sun elf.
Oh. How many kind of elves are there?
A lot.
Type of elf am I?
A big one.
Can I guess what kind of elf he probably is?
Give me a medicine check.
I'm in medicine.
Wah.
Ah, shit. I didn't mean it. Hold on.
I have instilled fear in these people when they roll with advantage when they should not. This is what it should be.
Ooh,
yeah, it's one of those things that now you're here and you could take a time to look. Snowcone is a giant blood. That means that they are either directly or indirectly related to giants. The Age of Giants ruled so massively that many peoples have very blurred giant lineages that occasionally awakens. So clearly Snow is part elf, part giant, but it's not directly. But who they were born from, which leads to the kind of elven features, you think it may be higher elven features.
My earring is like bothering me right now. It's like it's in an inner ear ring and it's like sitting weird. Possibly a high elf. Snow, I'm not entirely for certain, but you're definitely not
muted
a sun
if you're talking.
Oh, like,
Me?
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
ish. There we go.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, he would say, he would kind of just shrug and be like, well, the more you know.
Yeah, well, I know I'm not an elf. Unless
Maybe
there's
you-
secretly like a weird kind of elf, you know, that's
Yeah,
all
maybe
scaly.
you have a little bit
There
of elf
are
in you.
weird kind of elves, but they don't look
Not
like
this
small
weird.
dragon dogs. No. looks at the recruits, gives the one that fought Snow like a pat, like, good job. He stops being a hard ass for a moment. He's like, the hard assness drops just a bit. He's not
Ass
sword, bro.
softens.
Yeah. For now.
For now.
But it looks at the rest of them and Snow. Does anyone else feel the need to get out some of their testosterone? Or are we good for now?
The recruits are like,
Does any of them want to spar Sabriel is what he's asking.
oh, no way. you do, but as you do see it say that, there is a reply from up the stairs to the palace.
Oh, is it gonna be?
Fuck's sake.
If you are seeking a appropriate challenge, Lord Commander Sabriel Aphelion, then I would be welcome to have an honorable spar with our city's most golden child now that you are returned with some strays.
What's he saying?
Is it dude bro? Is it dude bro?
It is the Knight of the Sword, Lathador Castirian.
Okay.
Similar to how Sabriel is clearly of a higher standing, you can just tell by this guy's armor that they're important. It is the full armor of a crusader, but they have these big, almost elven faces on the shoulder pads, with gemstones and such. Hair is light gold. It's in a tall ponytail with a hair clasp that actually does burn with sunlight, with the little wiggly woos that come off the elven symbol of the sun. It's actually the symbol of Thundrel. It's like the sword is in with the hair. He seems a little bit like Sabriel's age. Yeah, he's hot, but not he's you know, he's from the plastics.
Sabriel will just take a breath and turn around. Just nod. Be like, alright, you know what? He just nods. He just crosses his arms and looks at him like, ready when you are, asshole. He doesn't say it.
He will whip his hand to the side, and from the light, a similar-looking sword will appear. It's not a flamberge like yours, but it's a similar kind of. It's a lot lighter than a lot of the other Sun Elven swords, which are quite chunky.
The trainees are all like, oh god, dads are fighting.
And he will say, "Watch, students! If you want to be ready to slay the foul usurper elves that live beneath the surface of the earth, you will need all to know all of the tricks that our people can wield." And he will point his blade at Sabriel. Roll initiative.
Mentally, Sabriel's just like, oh good, because you don't know all of those either, so stop spewing
anime.
bullshit, Volturn.
This is a little anime.
This isn't anime, it's gone anime now.
It was telenovela and now it's anime, and it turns out they're the same fucking thing.
What is it? One of those Spanish, like, soap operas?
Yeah. How many of those have a sword fight in? Don't answer that. It's probably a lot. He will actually.
Banderas have a lot.
He will actually get the first strike. It's like after your swords clash, you will do the fencing thing where it's like, we'll strike at you. What's your armor class right now? Bearing in mind you're not wearing armor. Never mind, he crit.
Oh no.
Hold on, let me fix my hit points because I never did the long rest. Alright, there, we good.
Well, he's not using a great sword. He's using a long sword in one hand. So it's going to be math 19 slashing damage plus
Oh no.
an extra 6. So that's 24 slashing damage on that first strike.
Okay. Hold on, I got a math. I only have 40 hit points. How much? Minus what? 19?
It
What was the number?
25 in the end, because he did an extra bit afterwards.
I have 15 hit points. Okay.
Talk shit.
Sabriel does not want to. Yes, Sabriel didn't talk shit. He was thinking shit.
It's okay. Just use like a high level spell.
Oh yeah, he's going to. Sabriel's gonna go up to it, or Sabriel's gonna do his usual shit. And it's gonna fail miserably, but we're gonna try it anyway. I have level 3 spells. Yes. Okay. I clicked it.
It'll take a sec, maybe. It also might be asking further questions if you want to close your.
I answered
sheet.
the further questions. It's
Oh.
not doing anything.
Oh. Ah.
Oh.
Yep, that will be a hit. That's a lot of damage. So you do the like tap with the sword and like of magic.
Blood missed him.
He'd
Evaporated.
Listen, Sabriel would not be upset by this.
Whoops.
You could strike true between his armor and light burns, and you actually see it go like through the inside of the armor for a moment. He does kind of grit his teeth, and I would say he grits his teeth and smiles at an honorable battle, but this guy hates you, and so there is no like respectful like good hit. It's like a okay, sure, I guess I'm going hard. And he is going to try and hit you again. Oh, what's your AC right now?
Hold on, I gotta figure out what my armor does. I've been trying to figure out how to unequip it on Roll20 and I can't find it.
Oh, you just changed the number. There's no equipping in Roll20. What are you talking about? It would be just
There is equipping.
Well, if it exists, it hasn't worked ever. Your basic is like 10 plus your dex modifier.
Yeah, I think you can just, if you find your armor in your inventory, you just click the tick and it usually takes it off.
I've never used
It works
that.
with my chainmail.
11!
He hits.
Unless my clothes count for something. But
I would say they
11.
count as some armor, so let's say 12. But yeah, he will hit. But he hits a little weaker because he has been just hit. He's been struck. So this will be... it'll end up being 12 slashing damage on the next strike. Fighting through the pain and the fire. He's also quite injured.
I was gonna do 2 things. Wait, question. Is it a spell and a cantrip, or is it I can cast another spell as long as it's a bonus action?
Yeah, no, you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you have the action economy to do it.
Okay, because I have like
concentration.
I have multiple DMs who have different rules on that. So
in Raw, you can only do a spell and a cantrip. That makes no fucking sense. I will reward you to being able to do bullshit if you can manage the action economy in D&D. So.
Because we have been traveling for 3 weeks, I haven't been doing my spells every day. Would it be okay if I used Healing Word even if I don't have it ticked right now?
Yes.
Alright, Sabriel's at 11 hit points. I'm gonna hit him again with a level 3. Maybe.
Oh, it's a miss. He will deflect that strike. Your empowered blade will only hit some of the stone and make it go whoosh, and turn some stone to dust. And he will retaliate. And he will even say, and because he's a he's a bitch. I would say bastard, but
He
he's a
is a
bitch. He will say it in common so that your new friends can hear it and be like, "You are losing your strength, old man." And he will hit.
Goddamn!
And he will deal 14 points of non-lethal damage.
Yeah, down.
It will be one of the ones where it's like he'll swipe so that it cuts some of the body jewelry off, and then he'll point the blade at the neck.
Bastard!
And there's like the tinkling of the little beads and things of gold from the jewelry on the ground.
Snow is... Oh, okay, hold on. Snow is just gonna cross his arms and basically be like, well, one person in armor, the other in beads. Not a very fair fight, wouldn't you say? Giving the guy a look.
No one in this city has or will ever ask for your opinion, you revolting entity.
Hey,
will
that's
just-
my friend.
The sword will just disappear from his hand like a fading shadow.
There's no need to talk like that to people.
You are mistaken. You are not people. And he will turn and head back inside the palace.
Cyril is just like glaring after him. He's pissed.
Gabrielle?
Cyril's gonna go for his throat during the council meeting.
When-
Anyway.
When I become a dragon, I'm giving you permission to ride me so that we can come and just burn this fucker down.
Oh, thank you, Peep, but the child will get a chastising when we have the council meeting.
Okay.
He makes sure he hears him say child too as he says it.
Yeah. Don't worry, Pete. The child will get...
He's just angry that he doesn't have the ancestors on his side. Dick measuring contest right now.
We all know who wins the dick measuring contest, and it's Ballard, and it's no fucking contest. With that, I think it's time for a little break.
We'll come
So-
back for more soap opera drama.
That's all it is in High Thunderall. It's either you are like the old son returning, or you are it's all drama all the way down in High
Listen,
Thunderall.
Sabriel did really good for not having his armor on.
Yeah!
And not
Yeah, he
using
did.
his
If you
ghost
hit him
to, like-
again, he would have been, if not down, he would have surrendered. Maybe. Maybe.
No, Sabriel's just gonna smack him down in the council meeting. It's fine. I have no.
Yeah, if you can't defeat him with swords, you can defeat him with words.
He's
We're
not
back in a
that
bit.
smart.
Hello! We are back. Sabriel just got embarrassed. Dun dun dun. Nah.
He's not embarrassed, he's just mad.
Defeated by magic and logic.
Is it time to head back home and prepare dinner?
Yeah. I
Noah's
suppose.
glad he got to fight, but you can tell that he does. He's at 8 HP. He doesn't really want to fight anymore right now.
Sabriel will heal, you know, Snow and the recruit, and you know, give the recruit a like. And now that he's not being an like hard ass moment, be like, all right, good job, and then he's gonna like leave.
Okay. You can bring everything back home.
We gotta collect a Battlord for dinner. I guess Sabriel will go do that.
Just give everything to Snow to like carry back.
Well, he'll
Snow's
escort
like-
them back to the house. That way, they're not accosted. But then
Yeah.
he'll go find Battlord.
And Snow is like, don't worry, I'll get started on the cooking. I know the best Planivar recipes for stew.
Make a lot of start something large because between yourself and Battlord, the rest of us won't get any food.
Stew it is. Stew is good for large amounts, you know.
Imagine stew
He'll
with,
be like-
with
he'll make a
dumplings
comment
too,
about-
you know.
He'll
I'm
make
gonna
a
make
comment
more
about
of our
Battlord eating like almost an entire griffin by himself.
Well, you know, that was Fen as well. Fen ate
but-
more than Ballord.
What does Planivar stew look like?
I think it is. It's first of all, it's whatever you can catch.
Yeah. Probably
Plus-
some mushrooms.
Mushrooms, suet dumplings.
Okay.
Gotta. That's like soak up all the sauce. Delicious. Yeah, so you could start. There would be like, because a lot of this stuff is hunted from the forest around. And even the island. High Thundrol does have like deer and game fowl on it. And probably some even bigger monsters to hunt and eat now that there's less people like protecting it. You know, but you haven't got a quest right now to go and collect 7 griffin zebra feet, so you can just not worry about that. So you can start cooking. Sabri, you can go and get Ballord. Ballord doesn't know where you're taking him or why.
Oh, no.
Ballord doesn't remember that you invited him to dinner.
He's gonna remind him probably multiple times on the way back to the house. I mean, yeah, but he's gonna remind him on the way back to the house to be gentle with Alina.
Yes, that one is quite a small and flimsy elf, aren't they?
She's also pregnant, Ballard.
Don't know where the baby would fit.
I can give you some.
On a sun elven woman, there's a grand, strong belly, and to grow within new warriors for the light of the sun. Don't you make that face at me. Listen, one day you'll be making children of your own, and you'll need to hear this advice.
It is
And now that your
mine,
father
Ballard.
isn't around, I will have to take the responsibility of telling you how it all works.
But Ballard, it is mine.
Oh, that's very funny, Sabriel.
You can ask her yourself then.
No, I'd never ask who's the father of an unborn child. Not again.
Why do I feel like that was a Ballard and Verum encounter? They went and asked some poor woman who the father was.
Yeah, no matter what, you know, Ballard got hit with like a bag.
It was Mara.
Maybe. But you can
Like
bring Ballard
Spider-Man beat her
home.
way.
I
Yeah.
need to do a cooking roll, by the way, because that's not.
I think for like something like stew, nah. And especially, you have a kitchen, so it's different to like cooking on the road. You have a kitchen, so the lowest floor of this tower, you enter into the entertaining room. Below that is a kitchen. That is a full kitchen with appliances and All the appliances are also seasoned with like centuries of spices as well, because it's all quite old equipment.
Okay.
There's also would be some like, you know, little herb gardens inside and all these sorts of things. It's a very good space for cooking, and luckily the ceiling is just about tall enough for you. This is the room with the lowest ceiling, so you might have to stoop under, especially if, like under pans held on the ceiling. You know, you might Gandalf it a little bit, but
Yeah.
you can return to the smell of earthy Planavar cooking in the house. Grimrold is still outside. There is actually an arrow by Grimwald's feet with a letter rolled around it.
I'll pick it up and read it.
It is a message from the Knight of Eagles
Okay.
that the city itself told her that you had brought something dead and decrepit into the city. And she hopes this isn't what everyone is so excited about you'll be telling them in the council.
It's not. No, he'll send a message back to her. No, the creature is evidence for the problem.
Cooking time. Cooking with Daddy. It's not cooking
That was
Mama.
a good music shift into the.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
Look, I know what I'm doing here, okay? This is high quality entertainment.
Would Pete
Is
be
this a
helping?
Monster Hunter cookie?
Oh yeah,
No.
Peep's definitely helping.
Okay, so during the whole process, which takes like a couple hours to really get the stew going, occasionally Snow would like disappear for a few minutes. And then come back.
Peep just
But what-
stood on the countertop, stirring the pot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we might have like one or two other like. Are there other people helping? Like, are there?
I imagine this is
not like
happening
that?
before Sabriel and Ballard get back, right? You want to
Okay.
do that before they get back a little
They
bit?
don't have servants.
And there's
Alina's
no
the only
servants.
one
It's
there.
too small of a house. Alina has a...
Goldie?
Alina does have... I can't remember what the word is. They have someone who basically looks after them when you're not around.
Needed
Who's
her.
like... Yeah, but they're like a knight of their house who helps out. But they're not here right now. So it is literally just the house isn't big enough for servants and doesn't need it.
Okay, yeah. Well, so then in that case, I would just like a couple times. Then Stowe would just be like, "Here, Pete, can you do this for a minute?" And then he'd go. When he'd come back, he'd have like this weird look in his eyes, but then he would pick up the work again.
This is a lot more tiring than it looks. How thick is this stew?
Always eating our food.
Yeah, no, he would. Yeah, it's gonna be venison stew. I decided.
Makes sense.
Yeah, with the mushrooms and stuff, and yeah, good hearty stew.
The door would open loudly as Ballard was excited to, as a kid is, because there's a little tiny, like 5-foot bridge that basically comes down from it's like a drawbridge to your house. And he is, of course, excited to be the one who opens the door to go inside. So it is opened loudly. There is nothing within hitting distance of the door because this has happened before, obviously. But the door does open loudly upstairs as Ballard goes inside. He's stompy. He's too old to be quiet.
He's never been quiet.
Yeah. Nah.
I think the guests arrived. Oh,
You're
you're
Wait
muted.
a bit.
Right there.
Yep. Yeah. But what?
Good.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Yeah, Mike's. But he would say, the stew is not yet ready.
I can go and distract them for a bit. It won't be too long, right?
No, just a little bit longer.
Okay.
I feel like I'm getting poisoned or some shit. Like, what? This is some shady ass cooking.
What? We were just cooking stew.
You're just cooking stew. Who knows what Snow's doing? The long con.
No, he's just cooking the stew, you know?
Gonna take
Alright,
Sabriel out.
Dip up the stairs.
Ah! What
What
is that little creature?
How we met yesterday? Was it yesterday?
Aye! Balord Rulius never forgets a snout. Good, because it doesn't have a face.
Isn't this a face?
Face palming. God damn it.
Well, anyway, the dinner will be ready very soon. Just the finishing touches to go.
Ballard will thump down at the table.
Sabriel will go get Alina and help her down the stairs.
People go over. Goldie, can you help me and Snow with bringing the food up when it's ready?
Goldie will look at you for a bit, and there's a clicking and whirring, and I'll look to like wherever Vincent is having an old man nap. And then they will just nod and click
you.
down the stairs.
Scamper back down.
Is Sabriel not doing any cooking? Are you just leaving it all to
He at this point he doesn't think he needs to help because they've done it all. So he's just like, I guess I'm gonna go get my wife and help her down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Alina can sit down on a comfortable collection of cushions because there's no seats. It's a low.
He's gonna
table on the
motion
ground.
her to her in front of Ballard and be like, "Look."
Yes, Ballard, I get it. You have a wife. When you reach 1,100 years old, it's a lot harder to find a wife. You see, the only other people who are as old as me that have the appropriate conversations that I would have with them, intellectual conversations about very interesting topics, I would have to find, what are they called? The old things. You know what I'm talking about.
The fairies?
No. What? No. I dabbled with the Fae one time, and it's all you ever talk about.
Alina, do you have something you would like to tell Ballard?
Yeah, there would be that quiet conversation in Celestial where she recognizes that she's talking to Grandpa, and so has to, you know, try and explain that she is pregnant.
Pregnant.
She's pregnant. That you feel like Ballard, you know, again, he sort of understands. It's not necessarily bringing him back from the brink like you may have expected, but he's sort of starting to remember that that's a thing.
He's gonna keep saying it until it finally officially fully clicks permanently.
Yeah.
He knows how Grandpa works. You gotta say things multiple times to Ballard before he's like, oh yeah, okay.
And then
It's true. That's always been true too. That's not even because he's
It's
old.
always been true.
And he'll think that she's permanently pregnant, like even after the
Forever.
baby comes, and then
He's gonna be like, where's the baby? And he's holding it.
Anything else you want to do with the stews, or anything else you want to do in the kitchen before you're finished cooking up? You are muted
You're
again.
muted.
sorry. While the stew is getting made, could I also have made like? Do they have it like oh, I don't know. Like could he also have been making some like sugar glazed nuts? Because I'm assuming that would be kind of like a. That seems like something that would be eaten by the Planivar as a like sweet treat, right? Like some chestnuts or something, and.
It would be different. The type of nut that you can acquire here in the Sun Elven city is different to the nut that you've known all your life. But with a little bit of ingenuity, you can prepare a nut that will be good for the entire group of your companions, and everyone can share some nut together after dinner.
Not really at Sabriel's house. This is not an out-of-place conversation at Sabriel's house.
Ollie is feeding into it too. He knows what he's.
At that point, you have to.
Yeah. We'll eat some nuts together.
I thought you were losing it at what was in chat with the thing. Quick snow, the finishing touch, dunk the kobold and hold the lid until the thumping stops.
Yeah, is it a high Thuntroll nut?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be a different kind of elven nut that they have. It wouldn't be a very common thing here unless it's kind of ground down into a seasoning, but...
Only the best kind of nuts.
Only the finest nut is available here. It's not just any nut. It's a Sun Elven nut. From the high city of High Tundra.
I'll make some sugar glaze that stuff. That'll be like a little dessert. Like, it's not gonna be, you know, it's just meant to be something to kind of munch on after you're done eating. That to sweeten the palate.
Yeah,
great
source of protein.
Oh no. In both senses, yeah.
Y'all can bring up the stew. Are you gonna like plate it into bowls or just like one big and everyone does it themselves?
I'll let Peep decide this.
Well, if we do it in one big one, we could maybe do both. We like plate some up and then we bring up the thing, and then, or it'd probably be at that point easier just to bring the whole thing up. Yeah, let's bring the whole thing up. I'm not sure how much I can help because that looks heavy and I'm very small.
You
So
can
we'll lift up the big old pot of stew. Try not to spill it. It's gonna be like The Office, yeah.
No.
I'm not gonna make you roll to see if you drop the pot as you go upstairs. But you know, in an alternate universe, that definitely happens.
Head to toe, just the pot.
Why not?
It wouldn't be the first time someone's licked food off someone else in that house.
Hedonism.
You can. When you live for 900 years, you get a little spicy.
Yeah.
Bring food up.
Gay prime.
It's you know, everyone can take a seat at the table. That eat. Goldie and Grunwald do not eat. So there's that. Yeah, you can all enjoy some thick, full, hearty Planavar stew. Yeah, but Ballard is like sitting opposite Peep and like starts eating and sees you're eating quickly and starts eating quicker as well as a fight. Give me a Constitution check.
Oh
God.
I was thinking it was gonna be just like a not a save,
just a check. Yeah.
Yeah, Constitution.
So Ballard has high Constitution.
Ah.
Ballard finishes his bowl first.
Fuck. Peep starts to slow down because he has a small stomach, so it starts filling up a bit quicker than.
And he does the thing where he puts the bowl upside down and puts it over his head. It's like ha ha. No one else was playing. I see.
I was enjoying the show.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
Everyone's just like, okay.
Yeah. Chill meal together.
Yeah.
Adventuring party plus Sabriel's family. Missing the husband for now.
It's the boyfriend, the wife. The husband isn't there yet, and he's got his pets, the skeleton and the robot.
This is getting out of hand.
It's the Brady
At one
Bunch at
point-
this point.
Snow would excuse himself. He's gonna go like, kind of like he's probably been leaving periodically throughout the meal to go check on the nuts that are still roasting in the oven or whatever, or I don't know, the brick oven. But yeah, so he would be leaving like occasionally and then coming back up.
When you go to leave one at a time, it's like, do you need any help, Snow? Or are you still good?
He's like, oh no, I'm fine.
Cool.
Cues the doors opening like in Two Towers with Aragorn just fucking walks in. Al walks in.
Cal looks like, oh shit, comes back, like walks out, shuts it, comes back with 5 minutes later with ginger ale. Just now that's a specific reference.
But I guess after the food's done, Sabriel's gonna make sure the orb's still hidden, and then he's going to, I guess, show Peep and the others where they can sleep. They are not allowed to sleep in his meditation room. He is like, no.
Yeah. It's just down
Whatever.
here in the meeting room, right? That you just let them set up like bedrolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
the kitchen, I
Would
guess.
ask if he could sleep on the balcony, or is that like outside the meditation room? I don't remember.
So there are 2 balconies. There's one outside the meeting room and there's one outside the study. The one outside the study is the big one that actually has like stuff on it.
I mean, you can sleep out there. Just don't eat my birds. He's gonna just say that again, like, don't hurt my birds.
He looked at birds.
Several's convinced random outsiders are gonna eat his birds.
It's entirely possible.
He likes his birds.
Is Balord sleeping over? Or is he gonna be taken back home?
No, he'll keep him for now. Because if Sabriel goes to his house, he's just gonna stay there too. So he's just gonna keep him and take him back in the morning. He's like, okay, you can stay. Come on, put him in the meditation room, set him down, get him situated.
Would you show them the meditation room, or is that entirely secret?
It's not secret. I feel like he probably is just like, this is a special space.
It's a room only for meditation. There's like nothing else in there. It's just like it's under the study. It's smaller than the other floors, and it's just a chamber for. It's literally just like masonry and windows, and.
I mean, he'll
floor
show
space.
it to them, but he'll just be like, this is a. It's got floor pillows everywhere, but he'll be like, this is just a. Please do not use this room.
Okay. I promise.
Part of that is probably coming from his dad being like, no one else is allowed in this room. Dad is a little bit weird about the room.
As night settles in completely, and the mortals need to sleep, Alina and Balord at least will definitely go upstairs to meditation. Balord meditating, like, face down on the ground.
Sabriel will roll him over at some point, make sure he's not suffocating.
No.
Just slip your finger
It's
under his
fine.
nose, make sure.
Yeah. Whereas Alina meditates like a graceful elven noble, you know, sitting cross-legged, humming a little bit, perhaps. Anything any of y'all want to do during the night? Where you can set up your, you know, it's comfortable. It's warm enough. There is a constant airflow. There is no real sound of the city. The only sign that you are many feet up in the sky is the slight buffeting of wind on the balcony and the walls of the building. Other than that, you know, there's no like bobbing or anything.
Or hits the windshield.
I don't know. Are we all like? Is Peep and Vince? Are they all sleeping with Snow on the balcony?
I mean, it's up to you. I guess Vincent would probably sleep where Sabriel said, so like in the meeting chamber. Peep can sleep wherever.
Like, Snow is so used to sleeping outside now that he's like.
Peep would probably still sleep in the meeting room.
I mean, yeah, Sabriel will bring
Perfect spot
pillows
for
and
you
stuff
under the
to
table.
them, but
Yeah.
Sabriel
see,
comes
like,
out
a
in the morning and
cobble
Peep's
tail
just
under
made a cave under the table.
A little den, blankets, pillows,
Kobold
Pile of
instincts.
chicken bones.
some nut,
Just one nut.
just one. Little stomach. Doesn't want to spoil his breakfast. Okay. It is, compared to like all the traveling you've been doing, it is peaceful. And I imagine those that sleep heavy. You know. When you do your dream walking, Sabriel, there is no Calravale during the night, which is not entirely surprising if he's traveling. And the rest of you, sleepy sleeps. One thing you do notice when morning does break is that the whole building is designed for the morning sun to slip through the windows, some of which of the glass is coloured, in other places it isn't, and wash over the room very deliberately. You know, the whole building has been designed for this, especially when it faces the sun in this exact way it does right now. And it's a particularly nice and calming presence, even on the balcony. You know, the way the sun kind of washes over everything is it's very warming on because the air would be really cold at night, but the sun immediately warms and gives strength. So I guess the question
Sabriel's
is,
up early, being an old man.
also you got guests, you know, you can't just lay in.
Would Sabriel like does Sabriel have like a morning routine? I have a reason for asking.
It's much the same as the morning routine that he's had while you've been traveling. Like, he gets up and he talks to his ghosts in the morning, and then he makes tea and breakfast. But he gets up, like, before the sun is fully up.
I don't know what is the layout of the building like to walk
So
down.
there's so right now it's a 4-floor tower, right? The entrance is on the meeting floor. Below that is the kitchen. You are at the meeting floor on the meeting floor's balcony, and so Peep and Vincent are on the meeting floor. Above that is the meditation chamber, but that has a separate stairwell because it's like a private space. And then there's a stairwell that goes around it and up to the study, which has the main balcony where most of Sabriel's birds are.
Okay.
That's probably where he's at.
Like,
And
hall that has, like,
all the paintings are most of the paintings, all the interesting ones are in the study. There's a couple in the meeting chamber, and maybe even there's like probably a really old one of like Sabriel's parents in the kitchen because Sabriel's mum cooked a lot. But like the really interesting ones of like Sabriel and his family through the ages, they're all in the study. Like in the meeting room, it'd be like recent ones of him and Calravale and Balor and whatnot. All the history is up in the study.
Where is Sabriel's like? It's the meditation room is where you sleep then.
Yeah.
Or not sleep, but meditate. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
But he goes in the morning and talks to the ghosts on the balcony upstairs.
Okay.
On the
Then
study
in that
balcony.
Case,
Yeah.
you would see Snow in the study.
Like as you're like
Awkward,
meditating with the birds and the ghosts.
Well, I imagine that Snow might even be in there before Sabriel gets up there.
That's early.
That's early.
Yeah, he would be up in the study, And so Sabriel would probably walk in, and Snow would kind of like snap out of it, but he was staring at one of the paintings.
So Sabriel walks in his fucking pajamas, little cup of tea in his hand. His hair is like as much of a mess as Sabriel's hair can be. Like, look.
Yeah, Snow is like, oh, I'm sorry. He's standing in front of, I don't remember the character's name.
The Painting of Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there something you need to know, or
Snow is like,
can I help you?
This is a Wendy's.
Sir, this is my house.
Snow is like, no, I'm sorry, no.
Summer just looks at the painting for a moment.
Yeah, he'll go, like, Snow will just walk down the stairs, I guess, embarrassed.
The stairs are definitely not designed for someone quite as big and heavy as you, Snow, so they definitely creak. Like, so, but yeah.
Sarah looks at the painting and then looks at Snow, like, what the fuck? As he's walking downstairs, like, well, I'm really confused as to what just happened. He looks at one of the ghosts. You know what just happened?
I think you should just fucking kill him. He's a giant. Come on.
Yeah.
He's just gonna, like, proceed to keep staring down the stairs for a good 5 minutes because, you know, old. And then he's gonna wander out to the balcony. Snow would find there's, like, breakfast already set out downstairs because that's the first thing he does.
Yeah. There's breakfast pastries and jams. Oh, probably jams made of good berry as well, because there's a good berry vineyard. So it'll set you right for the day of combat and etiquette. Everyone can get up. We can
combat.
start doing
Who are
anything.
we fighting?
There's two
Well,
for
you know.
good.
Sarah will explain the food when he gets back down the stairs.
I don't think I've ever had good berry before.
Didn't realize it was uncommon. Sarah's just like, this is like our PB&J sandwiches.
It's like in all the wine, like literally in other campaigns, High Thundra wine has been used as essentially like a multiple use healing potion, because like the wine has this stuff. It's fermented, goodberry grapes basically. So it would taste kind of grapey. It's like a grape jelly. So Ballard would come down and clasp hands on Peep's shoulders. Ballard is naked.
I'm assuming I don't see that. Just
No,
yet.
because he's the other way around. Where he will say, of course. This is much better straight from the source. You should show them the vineyard, Sabriel, and the stables. If I remember correctly, you've had quite a lot of good times can be had at the stables.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'd love to go.
Sabriel's just gonna turn around, grab Ballard's robes that he probably picked up on his way down the stairs, noticing they weren't on him, and just get him dressed.
What are you scared of, little one? It's just how Tinnervale made me.
I mean, I'm never gonna forget that, and not in a good way.
Good.
Him so much. He's such a dumbass.
Ballard, more like Ball Lord.
He'll finish putting on the rest of his. There was a point where he's like, I could do it myself. like puts his like belt on and whatnot, and be like, well, I suppose I should get to work. He doesn't go anywhere immediately. He just says that and puts his hands in his pockets and like stares into space.
Where's the orb?
It's probably where you hid it in like one of your cupboards or something, right? Like it's
Yeah,
it's
no, he's hidden
outside.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have that, at least.
Does he have his eye patch? Does he have that?
He has his eye patch. He has most things.
Not all of his marbles. All right.
No.
What? He's never had all of his marbles.
I had a
So.
pair of them swinging around earlier.
The big planet ones. They're the cool ones.
All right. Savril will deal with him and help him home, I guess. And then come home unless... Yeah, he doesn't intend on doing much around the city right now. He's just like, oh, we're taking a break. This is vacation time for like 3 days.
So the question is, what do you guys want to do for the next 2 or 3 days?
3 days. That dart the Hope fired at Peep. Oh no, Peep threw it back, didn't he?
Yeah, you don't have it
run
anymore.
off with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Savril knows where to find them, though, right? If Peep asks.
No, her sister makes them.
No.
You guys don't have hand crossbows. Oh, the pair of them, yes.
Yeah.
They would be, I guess they would be in one of the. Good question. Where would the Sun Elves have put in the 2 Dark Elves? I think they would be in one of the unused forges under the city. That makes the most sense because they do have a hard time seeing the sun.
Yeah, if Peep asks where they are, Savril can tell him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, they must be kind of lonely, I guess, if they're the only 2 Dark Elves in a city of Sun Elves.
I'm going to admit that I don't rightly know. I only interact with the older one when it's time to get some work done, so I don't socialize with either of them.
Well, I will. I'm gonna go find them.
Alright. Savril will, I guess, take Peep and to there, but he's gonna make sure Snow doesn't need anything first because Snow is the one that's more likely to get assaulted as he's walking through the city. So
I'll just get adopted if someone finds me, don't worry.
They might
Snow
try and roast Peep.
Yeah. I don't know what Snow would even try to do.
You can go with Peep, or you can just relax.
Savril did send a message.
He would just go with Peep, I think, because he doesn't really know what to do with himself in this city.
So, unlike, this is an underground section, right? But it's not a... it's still not devoid of light. There are windows as you head down, stairwells, and even areas which open out onto the side of the rock, like balconies. Where down here, you can see the clouds, you can feel the wind, right? Which would probably be a bit of fun for the people new to the city. The areas you enter, where the Master Forgers work, there is that kind of smell of a blacksmith that lingers mostly on the stones and things. But it's also quiet. The only sound of blacksmithing is quite distant, and it's sort of swallowed up by all the stone. The one you actually go to, it doesn't look like it's in use. None of the only difference being none of the rest of these chambers have doors. They just have open archways, but a door has been installed into the archway here, for the sake of privacy.
Dun dun dun. Hello. Dun, dun, dun.
A little circle will open on the door, and a little like orb on a stick will come out and kind of look at you. Full Star Wars.
Waves.
Hello.
The like lens of the orb like narrows, and then will, and you can hear the sound of similar to Goldie, the sound of tinkered works on the inside of the lock. And the door will open. No, I'm trying to find good tinkerer music. This will do for now, at least. It opens up to one of these forging halls. They are made for groups and get-togethers as well, not just. But if we turn into a bit of a private chambers, at the door is a usurper elf woman. Clearly Hope's sister from the glimpse you saw. They look very similar. Usurper elves are short. They're not that tall. She's probably maybe 5'3". And I guess that also considers whether you count her ponytail. She's almost as plain looking as elves can look. Her hair is actually darker. It looks like it's dyed black and is in a ponytail. She has goggles, but they're kind of over the head right now. She has a tattoo on her face of the elvish symbol for 2, and it's big. It's like the full cheek, and the equipment she's wearing is very much that of a workman, an inventor, an artificer. It's like fairly heavy-ish padded gear. It's light in some places, but padded in it. Like, she's clearly working on things, and you can see behind that this whole chamber is illuminated with these orbs of blue light that almost like balloons that kind of rattle and move on the ceiling. They're quite big, and they just cast a slight blue light around the whole place. You can see quite easily if you have dark vision. If not, it would be quite hard to see. But there's like things being worked on around here. And she will look at Sabriel and look at Peep and then at Snow. And she'll just kind of like, and she does have her arms crossed, and just kind of like, what is this?
Well, I think, well, it must have been your sister. I think it was your sister. I hope. I just wanted to say hi because we, met the other day. We were by the training ground. She fired a foam dart at me. She missed. It was a close shot, but she was a good shot. It just I was very quick, and then I threw it back, and I just wanted to say hi.
Tell me, are the kobolds up here on the surface, are they as bloodthirsty as they are down in the dark?
I don't know. I've never met another kobold.
Wow. Okay. That's not the answer I expected.
I found him living with humans.
Yeah, I was adopted by humans when I was very young.
Humans are unattractive and seemingly pointless, but I'm sure a kobold can't be too bad.
I think Vince is
God.
Yeah. She'll kind of like step inside and kind of like also understands that Sabriel probably isn't coming inside. You're probably just delivering. I don't know, but it's up to you, I guess. And she'll go and
step
find
in
Hope.
for a moment, just to make sure everything's going to go smoothly before he decides to go elsewhere, I guess.
Hope will be brought out of her side of this area. There's like side rooms and things, and yeah, they are, you know, spitting image of each other. Other than she hasn't dyed her hair and she's younger. But Tanuma doesn't seem that old either. She's probably maybe 200, which for an elf, you know, it starts leaning together near the end of the hundreds. Hope kind of like looks at you, and she has like the red eyes of a dark elf, which are quite stark in the city like this. But she is wearing like quite kind of heavy Sun Elven robes, more like Calarvale wears than like Sabriel wears. She kind of like scoffs like, yeah, that was the one I nailed with the bolt.
Wow, you nearly got me.
She's gonna try again. Give me a dex save. She does. She's like,
I'm probably gonna get hit this time.
yeah! Bolt hits you in the nose.
That was a pretty good shot.
And yeah, Tadu will just nod approvingly and be like, well, are you two friends?
I mean, the only time I met Hope before is when she shot at me. I just know how.
By Narashiro rulings, that means you're practically engaged already. And Hope will be like, what?
What?
Then we'll just, you know.
I'm only 5 and
Does
a half.
Sabriel want to roll with this? Does Sabriel want to roll with it?
She'll just do that like,
Yes.
you know, like older sister getting revenge for something that happened at some point. I don't know how much the Lord Commander has told you, but with the war on, I'm just about the only usurper elf who's on the side of the sun. Me and Hope here. We came up here for a chance of peace. And peace always requires an arranged marriage, right? Yes? 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 Yes?
I'm just like Sabriel's friend. I'm not like I've not.
I would never want to marry one of those. I don't even really know that. I mean, it's got like backwards legs.
Are they backwards? But still, I mean, like,
It's not a human.
The only time I got to experience a human up here was when you let me vivisect one.
What the fuck?
Sabriel's just like, yeah.
Snow doesn't even know what to make of this situation. He's just sitting there watching, like, quietly.
Peep's just squirming. It's like, I'm not sure this is such a good idea. I'm only like.
It would be
5
very
and a half.
dangerous to call off a arranged dark elf marriage.
I mean, surely we can figure something out. I mean,
Yeah, you'll have to lose a limb to our dark
What?
goddess of
What?
spiders.
I need all my limbs, otherwise I can't even swing my swords. They're so
That's
big.
not true. No one needs all their limbs.
Sabriel's just watching.
I'm once meant to become a dragon, and dragons don't have 3 limbs.
Some do. Some have more than that.
There was a dragon that guarded the entrance to our realm that had 6.
Heard tales of one with 6. from Ballard.
I mean, getting more is cool, but like, I don't want to lose them. You know?
I'm just fucking with you. I don't care. I get very little entertainment up here, and thank you. That was your squirming was delightful.
I would chuckle.
What is her specialties again? I forgot.
She basically brought a new age of technology to the Dark Elves, but she's a cloner. She makes clones. As well as all kinds of other things. She hasn't really been able to do anything here. She's mostly been like trying to explain how the Dark Elves work so that you guys can work out peace. But then the second you guys nearly got peace, the Usurper Elves killed all the Sun Elves at the peace talk. And you had to leave. She also does teleportation circles. She does a lot of things.
So she wouldn't be helpful in regards to Grim or Goldie, would she?
Maybe. She could maybe cure Grim in that she could make Grim a new body using his biomatter.
And if she's a tinkerer, she could fix up Goldie.
And she could probably fix Goldie just in general because she's a genius.
He's gonna explain to her both of them real quick because I just thought about that.
Yeah, like you can go aside and have like a parent talk about work.
But he's gonna be like, you can't do anything with the skeleton yet because I need him for evidence first.
That's very interesting. I would like to take a real look at this construct. Back in Narashiro, I was very interested in whether souls could be preserved mechanically. And if this construct has a more life to it than the other ones you encountered, then that's definitely interesting.
I will allow you to study him, but I request he get fixed first. He's just gonna look at her like, look, you know I have to go by certain things.
Well, she understands too, but she is also a bitch. That's why she's like survived here.
He likes her better than he likes Sword Bro.
Yes. While this is happening, Hope will kind of like just be kind of like near-ish peep, I guess.
Holding
another one of those crossbows.
These are genius engineering that are only known to our people. Not just anyone can use them.
Oh, well, I thought we could, try shooting each other.
Yeah, okay.
And later they can
Nerf war.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, I'm sorry.
They're gonna
she'll go and find one. And she'll find one with like a bunch of like actual like poison barbs, be like take them away and put them back on the top of the shelf. Like she has to climb up to a shelf to get them where she's not really meant to be, but she is a usurper elf, and so she climbs like a monkey up the shelves and just gets things anyway. Like a cat who's been told not to go up there. They will, and they'll knock stuff off. And she'll throw one at you with some of the foam darts. And then immediately shoot you. And be like, now you're not armed, now you're armed, now you're a threat. Yeah.
Like a duck and roll, like a Dark Souls roll, and just fire a shot back.
Yeah. You can have a little Nerf hand crossbow fight in the background while the adults are talking.
My one missed.
It's actually nice to have someone more her age.
I think the child has been rather lonely. His family is missing, so I brought him along.
Understandable. I suppose I can entertain them here if you need more time to do whatever it is you do. there,
I'm just
politicking.
waiting for Calorvale so that we can. Likely long and arduous council meeting. It's gonna be like a freaking parliament meeting. People are gonna be fighting. It's gonna be great.
People are going to be on cocaine if it's like Parliament.
I mean,
You need to keep Ballard awake somehow. Okay, so Peep out now has something to do down here. Play with hope. Increasingly violent games. Anything else for anyone else? It's still, you've got lots of more time, but it's, you've got a couple of days, so.
at some point during these 2 days, Sabriel will bring Goldie down there. Not Grim yet. Well, he'll bring Grim down there to keep him there, but tell her not to do anything to him yet.
Yeah, she would be interested in both. She would definitely do the like to Grim, be like, really look at him, and like she'd have her goggles on and stuff. But yeah, she'll take a look at Goldie over a period of several days.
I feel like there's a chance at least one more time during this time that Snow would be caught staring at the picture again.
Okay, Sabriel's gonna ask him for real though, like, what's up? Like,
yeah, well, I don't know. I think we should roll to see if it's Sabriel or Peep. I don't know if Peep would be going up to the study though.
I don't think Peep would, no. I think Peep would feel a little too scared.
Peep respects the study is for grown-ups.
Sabriel will
also, a lot of naked
confront him.
paintings.
They're tasteful.
Yeah.
Can you explain why you keep staring at this painting of my late wife? I'm not upset, I'm just very confused.
Yeah, whenever you catch him, he probably would have been like very embarrassed again and tried to scoot away. But yeah, then you ask him, he's like, I don't know, I just feel drawn to it.
Care to explain? I'm trying to understand.
I don't know. I just never really saw warrior women elves like this before.
She was the best of them.
Even though I grew up with giant kind, with the Planavar, but I still, even though I sometimes loathe it, I still feel the elf in me. And sometimes, but I've never really known many elves. There aren't as many up in the north.
Well,
Or at least not ones that I've really interacted with.
all of the Sun Elf women are, well, not quite as great as Fendelin was, though I may be biased, but they're all trained warriors. But we do have the High Elf that is like you here that I did send a message for, so she should be coming to find us sometime in the next few days, but
I apologize for it's I just am impressed. That's all.
I don't mind you staring at it. I was just trying to figure out why. Carry on. He's just gonna go down the stairs after getting whatever he needed from his desk.
Actually, several hours later, the individual you were talking about actually will find you. They are a mostly high elf giant blood as well. Their name is Vitoril Foe Blood. And They have very similar features to Snow, aside they don't have the horns. But so they look a lot more kind of vaguely sun elven, but also not all the way either. You know, they have the kind of golden skin and the golden hair, but not quite. It's like a lot rougher. But there is similar kind of heights to Snow, and sort of. I guess maybe it's from the Sun Elf blood as well, but they've got kind of a semi-androgynous features as well. They wear armor that is not quite the armor the Sun Elves wear. It's the armor that some of the High Elves you've seen around this part of the city have been wearing. And they have a very large spear. And I would say ornate. Every Sun Elven weapon or Solar Guard weapon is made in this very old world style. It's much more like Warcrafty than the rest of this like very witchery, realistic stuff. So it's big. It has like a gem in it and whatnot. Yeah, they are here. They have a kind of serious look on their face, and they would kind of bow deeply to Sabriel. I am here at your request, Lord Commander.
He's gonna motion to Snow. He'll introduce him, and then he'll be like, he wanted to meet you after I told him of your existence.
So it would just be like kind of like yeah, just like looking at their features and like yeah, surprised to see someone that looks like him mostly. And he would just give them a big nod and say, yes, I apologize if I've inconvenienced you, but I just have never met another one like me before.
I have not either. Not one that I have not had to kill.
Well, hopefully you don't have to kill me.
She'll look at Sabriel and then look back. I don't imagine so. Other members of giant blood that I've met within this city have turned to lives of thuggery. They're not made in a plan of Evandor like I was, so they say. But it is only by the request of people like Sabariel's husband that I have been allowed to serve in part of the Sun's plan.
Did you know your parents?
Get right into it.
She nods. I did. The origin of my birth is clearly of a traumatic tale. And of that, I have never known the exact truth. But they were a paladin of this city.
I was abandoned by my parents when they saw how I am, but I don't hold that against everyone, or I try not to.
She doesn't have anything to say, really.
She
is a person of few words. She's also like a god, so you know, she's a cop, so she doesn't have much to say either.
She's a cop at the chief's house. Like,
yeah. Snow would basically just he would ask her if it's okay if he can come spar with her at some point. Not right now, but like just at some point.
She'll like spin the spear and put it down into the dirt and put her hands on her hips. I suppose so. It would be appropriate to test our strength against similar combatants.
He nods.
Avril's just like, you have permission. Before she even asks, like, just don't kill each other.
And then she'll pluck the spear back up and give a bow and return to her duties.
Yeah. And someone would look at Sabriel afterwards and be like, she's very serious.
Most of our people are.
It's like,
Ballard is an exception.
Yeah. What it's Medicine was struck by a random thought, and he asked Sabriel, he's like, what if your kid is like me? What if they grow to my size?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. I don't even know if the child is going to even be a sun elf, much less anything like that. So let's not try and make assumptions. The sun will grant whatever the sun is going to grant. We will deal with it as it happens.
He nods. And he's like, fair enough.
Sometime later, it would actually be that evening, probably after your clearing up whatever small meal you had. There would be the door would open, and sweeping into the room rather quickly would be Sabriel's husband, Calravale, who you recognize because he's everywhere on the walls. It's not like, who is this person? But to remind you, very similar height and build to Sabriel, but much darker, kind of almost tin or bronze-like skin, still very metallic, kind of teal hair. The robes he's wearing are much heavier than Sabriel's, and they're also clearly, like, it's battle armor. There's, like, a large breastplate, and similar to the Knight of the Sword, but there are 3 of these faces, these ornate faces, very deliberate. You vaguely even recognize some of them from the Knight of the Sword's armor. But the robes and armor all melt together in these flowy elements, and they're a lot heavier than Sabriel ever wears, even in his main armor. It's just a much heavier fabrics that are patterned and things, and he will sweep into the room and right to Sabriel, and like Sabriel's like probably cleaning away teacups or something, and just grab his face and kiss him.
Aww. Does Sabriel drop the teacup and break it?
You could do a roll, I guess. I
got
don't know what
assaulted.
roll it would be.
I don't know. I'm just gonna roll a
Constitution.
d20. See if Sabriel like gets startled and breaks the teacup. No! Roll 20, goddammit!
It's very important. You need to know.
It is. These teacups are great. Oh, he breaks
Oh.
it. Alright.
Aw.
It doesn't like
Sabriel's
shatter,
just
but it
like-
like cracks. Like.
Sabriel's like picking up teacup as the door opens, and he gets grabbed in the face and smooched, and he smooches it back, but like the whole like inertia causes the teacup to just
Yeah. Oh, how I have missed you, my stars.
Oh. I'm so tired.
It does make sense to be the canon reaction after not seeing him for like months, to be fair.
Yeah, so Sabriel's just like, okay, time to not let him go now.
Aww.
Poor Alina walks down the stairs. She's like,
Huh?
the important one's back.
Yes, it is actually quite evident, like, the level of reaction is very different between Alina and Calravale, you know. But they have known each other forever.
Literally.
Come, Sabriel, you must tell me of all of your new companions.
We'll introduce the tiny dragon dog, and then he will introduce Snow.
I think Calravale would be the first Sun Elf to greet Peep by kneeling. Down to Peep's, as well, closer to Peep's level. It still isn't actually level.
Yeah.
But would kneel down to Peep and be, Sabriel has told me that you are a warrior with the heart of a dragon.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Several's like, don't fucking give me away, Cal, god damn it! Like,
Okay,
Wait,
good.
stop calling him, I'm
Have we all
soft,
said
the
that
dragon
about
dog!
Well, you see, I feel everything Sabriel feels. So I know his true feelings about everything. Of course, I can hide everything I wish from him if I wish to.
Right.
So anything you tell me would be very secret. And he'll get back up, and there's like a creak, because he's up. Like, there's a crack of something as he gets up.
Pats him and fixes whatever just broke.
And then he will look up at Snow.
Snow would actually like do the same, like kneel down in front of him.
Well, I wonder what the many faces of the sun have planned for you.
I realize my kind aren't always necessarily welcome here, so I appreciate the hospitality.
I have been told that you have helped save my husband's life. Several times. Whether or not he would admit this is another question. But I thank you. And you will have no shortage of hospitality if I have my say.
Sever will switch to Celestial real quick and give him an entire rundown of what happened with the Knight of the Sword, be like, this bitch.
Yeah, that's like happening while he's like taking off the armor, and unlike Sabra's armor, this is like, his armor has clearly seen some battle. He's mended it, but like, he's clearly come from actually the war front. There's some like elements like where maybe a jewel has fallen off and he can't mend that back. Stuff like that like you'd need a real keen eye to realize, but and he'll put it on a stand probably beside Sabriel's like full regalia. And yes, and Celestia will be like, It seems as time ever flows on and this globe spins over and over around our Lord, that the hatred you two share will only grow and grow in ferocity.
It's not so much hatred as irritation at the stagnant behavior in which he seems to be stuck in.
I am willing to bet. And he gives Sabriel a bit of a look. That he probably says the exact same thing to whoever it is that cares about him. About you. And me.
Probably. He's going to put up a fight. But
well, it would not be fun if there was not a fight. We are Sun Elves, it is what we do. You're going to go into that council meeting and you are going to put him and anyone else in their place. You're going to put everyone in their place. They're going to listen to you, they're going to have to.
Yeah, you're right.
You can tell.
Yeah, Cal's back to boost his ego again.
Yeah, you can tell that like Cal knows exactly like what to say, and like I imagine this is also like the genuine like smiles and things that like neither of them can really hide, and the little touches of like their hands on each other's arms and things very often. It's very sweet.
Sabra's completely different with him than he is with Alina. Like the touchy's not there with Alina.
And he would be like, the wife.
Mm-hmm.
And would go upstairs. Would you join him upstairs with Alina, or at least after a bit? Because he actually like takes some time up there.
Yeah, he'll go up there.
He will be after a bit, kneeling down because Alina's like sitting at the balcony, and he'll have his ear to her belly, and he has a smile on his face. We were correct in our assumptions, but more than that, if I am correct, and this is the area of my expertise, I have assisted in the births of hundreds of children.
It's a gecko.
It's gonna be a kobold.
That it's twins.
Oh, let's go.
At least. And Alina's like, no, twins perhaps? More than that, I think, I don't know. Put me into a grand sleep and I will awake when it is all done.
She's such a precious baby.
Cal will laugh and go and up and kiss her and be like, I'm sure it is just twins. I'm sure.
Sabra will do that too, but Sabra's gonna put his ear to the belly and see if he could figure anything out.
No, it's like, she's way too early for there even to be any kind of reaction. Cal's just like one of those people who can like, like, he's trained in this. He's like a midwife, so.
Oh yeah, but he's still gonna try. He's still gonna.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on. Yeah. Sabra gives them both a big smooch and kiss, and just sits there with them for a while, completely forgetting the other two downstairs. Now that Northman's back.
As I think we expected. All right, and with council meetings and things to do, I think we might as well leave that for next time, and not go on too late, because we did start late. A whole session of just shenanigans in the high city. There we go. That's shenanigans. That's how it'd be.
There was a spider on me!
Oh no.
You can't just say that just because you talked to a dark elf for a few minutes, Sabrina. That's very rude.
No, there was a spider on me!
Oh my god.
There's ice outside, so they're all inside.
Ah, of course.
You're cold, they're cold. Let them in.
No!
Let them in. Doom music starts.
I don't know where it went.
Well, while Ori is traumatized by the spider that could be anywhere, we'll be back next week for more of this drama-rama. Don't want to push too hard today. Real quick, we'll talk about other things we got working on, starting with poetry.
Yeah. So, beyond playing Snow, who's for some reason obsessed with Sabriel's dead wife.
What's that about?
He's really confused.
Beyond that, I also play video games on my Twitch channel. And lately I've been doing a lot of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and also a lot of XCOM 2. I'm on my 6th attempt at a campaign because I'm playing at the second highest difficulty, and it's kicking my butt over and over again. So if you come to the stream, I'll name someone after you so you can watch them die too. And I also actually do have my own D&D stuff that I run on my Twitch channel on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is like midnight or 1 a.m. British time, I think.
Yeah, I think it is like 1 a.m.
6 p.m. Eastern. I think that's only like
It's 1 a.m.
11. Yeah, it's 11 in the morning, isn't it? If it's Eastern, because it's only
Look,
5
I
If
hours.
don't
it's
know.
6. No, we're only 5 hours behind you.
Yeah, so it's 11 at night. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so either way, yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Voice quills.
Hey, I'm the dragon puppy of the group.
Yeah. They don't
I
know
just-
that you're like actually the equivalent of like ground pigeons, because they don't have the unit up here. They're like, well, I guess it's just like a little creature. Yeah. It's like areas where it's like lobster's really cheap because it's really common. That's kobold. Yeah.
Yeah. Vampires were sold for meat, and I don't like that.
Well, I don't think anyone would want to eat kobold because you're like sewer feeders.
It's
So
too stringy. It's so
Yeah,
it would
you
also
eat
be really
why.
stringy.
It'd be
I was
like
thinking that when we would talk about putting you in the soup, I was like,
I've eaten
it wouldn't be
alligator
good.
before. It might taste like that. I didn't like
Probably.
it.
But alligator meat is just the tail.
Yeah.
Because
Well, there's probably
well,
good meat
how-
in the
like,
tail.
Kobolds are mainly like, not like they're omnivorous, but they mainly eat meat. I
Yeah.
would say. So like, and meat eaters don't taste good.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I'm voice calls. I just shitpost on YouTube every day. I'm voice acting stuff. There's been some very, very interesting opportunities that have come my way, which I can't/won't talk about either because it's secret or it's just auditions that I need to wait and see if I'm cast for anyway. But if you want to be kept in the loop, follow me on Twitter. You'll also see some funny posts and retweets and good shit on there. So, yeah.
All right. And Ori.
Hi, I'm Ori. I'm leading a crusade against the spider that's in my apartment somewhere. So
Spoken like a true sun elf.
no, it will die as soon as I find it. But it derailed me. I don't like spiders.
You were
Jumping
already like one side off the rails. You know, it's like multi-track drifting. You're like half-track drifting.
Listen, I didn't sleep last night, so I'm
No,
like,
I know. That's why we're not doing a super long session.
tonight's, yeah, Halo tonight's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
but
crazy.
I'm gonna be logged the fuck on. Anyway, speaking of logged on, I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at my name with all the underscores in it. And I do commissions, I do art. It's all elves all the time. I draw other things too, but I like to draw elves when I'm not drawing other things. Right now it's just been elf angst, which is great. It's the best kind of angst, but goes on for centuries. But yeah. Also, I finally got the DLC on my computer for The Witcher 3. I've had it forever on my PlayStation, but I just got it on my computer, so now I can stream it. So we might go find Regis later if I'm not doing anything else. I don't know. I don't know if I want to stream again today. But yeah, I have commissions open. I got four. Yeah, that's the number. 4 slots open right now. So go find my pinned tweet on my Twitter and shoot me an email and give me money so I can go to the grocery store and buy food. So, yeah.
What fun.
Oh, I have a D&D game on my channel on every other Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. Not this week, next week. We were supposed to play last week, but we were not feeling well. I was in a bad way Sunday last week, so no, it didn't happen. Yeah, okay, that's it.
Also, there is a lot of cute art of Cal and Sabriel around Ori's Twitter as well.
I post a lot of that because I love them.
Yeah, they're very sweet. But now the only sweet thing to talk about is me! This show is supported by Patreon. If you like the channel, help us out for $5 or more. You also get access to an extra show that is working when I can, which is a Thieves game set in the great merchant city of Udar, far close to the North Pole. Whole different cultures in that area of the world. Very interesting characters as well. There's also the Wednesday show, Mind Over Matter, which actually Quill is voicing in voicing it? Well, you are voicing in it. But guesting in right now, which is currently in a very interesting place, dealing with some very interesting things. And we're actually probably going to wrap up that season soon. So that deals with... if you like some of the stuff that's kind of meant... Everything's connected in the setting, so stuff actually is connected between two campaigns. And you can also support in ways where you can help make NPCs, you can make items, you can get a little bit of extra content behind the scenes of my art. I am doing other streams, which are either art streams. Every Friday we do Pokemon Homebrew, where we're turning Pokemon into D&D monsters, and also I've got other things as well. I have commissions open. I won't spend my money on food. I'll spend it on Lego, probably. But, you know, so help me out, get what I need, and, yeah, a whole bunch of other stuff, chill streams. Just join Discord, join Twitter, all that stuff, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Next week. We'll say thank you to all the people who supported on Patreon, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.